It as often as I used to, but I had to cut back just because my body didn't feel good after a while. Okay, we're about to be live.
All right, I'll let you take care of stuff.
There we go.
I'm in your hands.
Awesome. We should be good to go. And I'm gonna let Sherry in the room and we'll kick things off. Good morning, Sherry. Hello.
Morning.
Hello, hello.
Good. How are you?
We're doing good. We got our caffeine. We're ready to rock and roll. Good morning, Chantal.
Good morning.
That's not fair. In an
Well,
Adirondack chair, kicking back on the beach. That is so not fair.
well, it's actually was at a winery. Up,
Even more unfair because you can't
yeah,
get wine at the beach unless you bring your own.
up north, up north from me because I'm in San Diego. So
Uh, I used to live in the Bay Area, so yes, we would go on wine weekends.
yes, nice. Yeah, yeah. I used to live East Bay.
Oh,
Uh, so
like
by
Oakland or Alameda,
uh Piedmont.
Piedmont. Good
Yeah,
place to be.
which just on the border of Oakland, actually.
Yeah,
So,
I got family in Piedmont.
oh, you do? Okay, yeah. So I was up in the hills. So had a view of Alcatraz, Golden Gate Bridge, and the Bay Bridge from my home. Yeah, I miss that house a lot.
I was in the Bay Area 10 years and I missed that. Having grown up with ocean and mountains and lived
Yes.
out there for a long time. And Indiana's flat and it doesn't have an ocean.
Speaking of Indiana, my husband is going today, which I was supposed to go, but I couldn't quite make it because I've been a little under the weather. Um, he went to pick up our brand new puppy. Um, it's a cavapoo. Do you know what a cavapoo is?
No.
It's a Cavalier and Poodle. It's the cutest little thing. Oh my goodness, I'm
Wow.
so excited. 8 weeks old. So I was supposed to go, but I ended up sick this last week. You can kind of
Uh,
hear in my voice a little bit. Um. Anyway, it,
so he's coming
so
to Indianapolis to get it or
yep, yep, yeah,
oh cool. Cool, cool,
yeah.
cool.
He left this morning. It's the puppy tomorrow, and he's doing like a total 24-hour turnaround. So I'll snag a picture as soon as she gets here. So
8-week-old puppy. Not sure I would ever want to go through that again. Welcome
I,
everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're talking about dogs here on the Friday morning Chief AI Officer open forum, ask us anything question thing. So I guess dogs, or as Brad Pitt famously said in a movie, dags.
Dags.
So we're going to wait a minute, but my name is Lee Pomerantz. I am the Chief Marketing Officer here at Chief AI Officer. And that's really a mouthful when I tell people. I didn't think about that, but yeah, it's like welcome. This is the Friday morning or Friday afternoon or Friday evening, depending if you're watching the replay or overseas. But this is the Friday Q&A call. We are here to learn about what happened in the world of our community. We're here to check out what happened in the world of AI inside our community, and we're here to check out what happened in the world of AI outside our community. So, if you are new here, I don't really see any new faces here today, but maybe. So, we are also streaming. So, welcome to anybody who is watching on Facebook or any of the other streaming platforms. If you are interested in learning more and want to become part of our AI Insider community, you can go to chiefaiofficer.com/learn-more. So that's chiefaiofficer.com/learn-more. You'll get all kinds of information on how you can try for $1 and spend 2 weeks checking us out and see what the AI Insider community is all about. This call, along with our Monday tool call, is open and we do stream them live. So anybody in the world can join us. The other calls that we do, Monday evening, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, those calls are gated and you need to be a member of our AI Insider community to join those. So again, if you'd like to join us and be a part of our AI Insider community, you can check it out for $1. chiefaiofficer.com learn dash more. So again, welcome to everybody who's joining us on Zoom. Welcome to everybody who's joining us on the live stream. And again, we're going to go through real quick what happened in the world of AI in our community, what happened in our community, what happened in the world of AI, and questions and answers. So that's really the main reason for today's call is Q&A. This is an open forum. If you have a question, raise your hand. If you have a question and you want to just come off mute and interrupt me, that's fine too. I'm from New York, so I got thick skin. I won't be offended, but we're here to answer questions. So if you have something that you've been working on, if you hear something on the call itself today that you'd like to add to or have a question about, please, you know, bring your questions here. That's what this call is all about. We're here to help each other on our journey. Some of us are, well, we're all in different places on our journey as we're going through learning about AI and how to apply it in our world, in our work world, in our personal world, and everywhere else. So if you have a question, let us know. I'm going to invite Megan, who is our community coordinator, to catch us up to speed on some events that happened in our community. So, hi, Megan.
Hello and happy Friday to everybody. You made it to the end of your week. It's fabulous. I
Yeah.
have two people that I want to congratulate inside of the community. So Grady Bachelor, and I don't see him here, but he completed his Chief AI Officer certification this week. So good job, Grady. We all know what a feat that is. And then we had a new student join us who's starting their Chief AI Officer certification process, and that is Michael Hamby. And he's not here this morning, but I definitely saw him in several classes this week. So congratulations, Michael. We are happy to have you here. And that is just awesome, awesome work. And then I'm going to pop over onto our community leaderboard just so we can see who is ranking this week. I'm getting an error message for some reason when I try to share. Will you share the leaderboard for me, Lee? I apologize.
Yeah, I can definitely do that.
Okay. I've never received that message before.
That's because you're special.
I have had some struggles with tech.
Leaderboard. Here we go.
Awesome. So Karan is number 1 this week. Wayne is number 2. Chris Lannon is number 3. Steve Furman, who is here, is number 4. And Stephen Worley, who I haven't seen in the leaderboard since I've been here yet, is number 5. So that's fabulous. And then I wanted to go over to the all-time leaders as well today. Because I thought that was impressive that Karan also holds that number 1 spot right there. And then Tina Cook is in number 2 and Terry Moten is in number 3. So the community leaderboard is generated by activity in the community, whether you're an AI insider or you're just in that trial period of seeing if you want to be here. If you like or comment or create posts inside of the community, you accumulate points. And that's how you make the leaderboard. And every Friday we announce who was the winner that week. So thank you guys for being a contribution to our community space. We would not be thriving the way that we are without you, and your presence is needed and appreciated. And we love all of the insights that you share because it just makes it such a diverse space of information in the world of AI. So thank you for continuing to contribute and to be here. And some of you who are here also help us lead classes on Mondays. And we love you guys. Like every class I'm in, I learn something new. And yeah, that's important for growth. And then as all of us are achieving whatever we're working towards in the AI world. We're just constantly in a state of growth, which I think is fabulous and necessary. And that concludes my segment.
All right. So appreciate the update, Megan. Again, congratulations to Grady. I know what it takes to go through the certification program. Uh, Welcome to the world of being a certified chief AI officer. Make sure that you get your certified chief AI officer logo badge and use that on your website, use that in your email signature, add that to your LinkedIn profile. Let the world know that you've achieved this significant milestone, and it's like moths to a flame. When people see that you're a certified chief AI officer, they will start coming to you with all kinds of questions, and you'll be amazed at how effective that is. So grab the badge. It's in the community. If you search on promote thyself, just put that in the search box up in the community and you'll find the logo. And you do need to be a certified chief AI officer to use that logo. So we're watching, but go out there and use it and use it proudly. And congratulations again. So want to welcome some people that just joined us. We have the Friday Chief AI Officer call in progress. Again, my name's Lee Pomerantz, and we are now going to catch up on a couple of things that are coming up. And I'm going to go over here and go back to my screen share and back to my agenda here. So we have updated the sequence of or the cadence of what we're doing with our challenge. So we've done a challenge historically once a month, and it was a 3-day challenge, and then we changed it to a 2-day challenge, and we're now in a cycle of we're doing a 2-hour challenge once a week. So we did that for the first time last week, and we have the next challenge is coming up on Tuesday, December 10th. So if you have not been through a challenge and want to join us on that, and you're listening on one of our live streams here, you can go to challenge.chiefaiofficer.com. Again, it's challenge.chiefaiofficer.com and get yourself registered for the free 2-hour challenge on Tuesday, December 17th. If you cannot attend live, please register anyway because you will get access to the recordings. So even if you can't make it live, you'll get access to the recordings to the challenge. And we do have the next challenge coming up on Tuesday, the 17th. I believe this will be the last challenge for the year. And then we will pick up on a weekly cycle starting back again in January. So go check out the challenge. If you are a member of our affiliate program or you are interested in becoming an affiliate for our program, you do not need to be a chief AI officer. You do not need to be in the AI Insider program. This is open for everybody. So if you go to our homepage at chiefaiofficer.com and go down to the bottom, you will see a link that says affiliates. And at that point, you can then go and look at what our affiliate program is about. We offer up to a 30% commission on the sale and enrollment of somebody coming into our certification program. So this is a nice way to earn some money. It's a nice way to get your own certification paid for. So if you bring just a handful or not even just 2 or 3 people into the program, you can get your own certificate paid for by the commissions that you'll earn on bringing those people on board. And it helps us grow the community, and there's just all kinds of great advantages there. So check out the affiliate program. And if you are an affiliate, thank you. We appreciate your participation in the program. We do have a challenge coming up again, as I said, on Tuesday, the 7th. So it's a great opportunity to get out there and promote this upcoming challenge. And as I said, we are looking to be doing these on a regular basis, weekly. So as an affiliate, that helps improve your cadence. You're not having to kind of turn on and turn off whatever you're doing in terms of promoting the program to people that you know. When we had it just, once a month, there was a big gap of, 3 weeks where you kind of weren't doing any promoting. So now with this new cadence, you can do things on a more regular basis in terms of promoting the challenge and getting people into it. So if anybody has any questions about the affiliate program, as the marketing officer here, I do run it and manage it. You can reach out to me in the community, or you can send me an email, lee@chiefaiofficer.com. We'll get you in my inbox. Happy to answer any questions about the affiliate program or anything else that I can help you out with, or if you're interested in the certification program, happy to get on a call and talk to you about that as well. So we're at the wins of the week section of the call here. So I'm going to ask anybody who has a win, had an aha moment, had an oh my gosh moment, or anything like that to share. And let's hear what's happening. Mark, you got your finger up.
Yeah, so I think it's been a month since I was on the last call. And we've been just going gangbusters. So for those of you who have not gone out and presented, I'll tell you a quick story. I haven't physically been in a meeting room. A year before COVID was the last time I physically was in some kind of meeting room with human beings. The rest of the time I have been sat here face to face like this. So that was an interesting experience. And I remember just how much I loved doing it. It was phenomenal. Had the opportunity to speak with a company. They brought me in to do as part of their quarterly town hall discussions, meetings, all day thing. So there was about 100 people, both live and on a Zoom call, and it was fantastic. Supposed to go 45 minutes. I ended up going an hour and a half, not because I can't be concise, but because of all the questions and all the feedback that came. Fast forward, we've now been asked to consult on setting up Copilot for the entire company. We've been asked to set up and do a full-on strategy session. And what came out of that is, in preparation, we started the AI journey with tools. That was our thing. We were to get going and selling, different tech solutions to solve problems. We have, over the last 6 months, really switched, and we have created a methodology, which is our Think with AI methodology. A little bit slightly different than Think in AI, but Think with AI. And the Think platform really resonates with people because we've got to teach them a little bit about AI before we can even have a conversation about a strategy session, because they don't know what's possible. So that's quite exciting. Then the spinoff from that has been, we've now had 5 different spouses of people in the company have approached us. And concurrent to that, the Ontario Centre of Innovation has named us their primary trainer for AI. What that means is that there's a grant program, have to be Canadian, and there's a grant program where the government will pay 50% of implementation services, and they'll pay 83% of employee training in a restructured program. And that then spun us off into the ability to now pitch for the federal, what they call FedDev, which is their federal development grant in technology and for emerging industries. That then spun us off into someone else in South Africa, and we've been invited to head up their international AI consulting division. So it's interesting that the point that I want to share is that the Chief AI Officer program, and I know this is being recorded, so that's why I wanted to do it today. The Chief AI Officer program gave us the background, the information, and the credibility and confidence to be able to go out and present at this level. The community at large and all of the sharings and everything gave us the backgrounds, because we haven't done everything ourselves, gave us the ability to share information and share experiences and use cases, which we, as alone, we would not been able to do. So for that, I am incredibly grateful to the community. And then all of the training has got me to the point where we're now being called in and invited into meetings because the marketing departments or the marketing consultants or the automation consultants can't speak about AI, and they're starting to call us in. So it is, this program has, I knew it was going to be great, but the spin-off of it has been tremendous. And so just putting it out there for everyone on the call listening as well, is we are now in a position where we're going to have too much opportunity and we're going to need some help. So for those of you who have specific skill sets, and yes, Christy and Kim and Karen and everyone, yes, please, Jonathan and Steve and Terry, we've got opportunities galore that are going to start to pop up. So yeah, so I guess the final point with all of that is that collectively we are in a position that nobody sees the possibility of what's going on in the day-to-day working force. We are immersed in this every day. You know, Megan, you were talking about being in meetings and training every single day. I had the fortunate opportunity to attend the Christmas party of the company that I spoke to, and I had 39 people come up to me afterwards privately, sharing their fears, their trepidation, their excitement, and they were afraid. Some comments were, I was afraid to use AI because it feels like cheating because I can get it done in 15 minutes, and I've got 3 days to get the job done. Like, how does that work? How do I reconcile? Am I going to get more work? Am I going to get fired? That was a big fear. Another fear was that people just didn't know where to start. One guy came up to me multiple times, and this is the last point I'll share with you. Actually, there's 2 points. There's one gentleman came up to me multiple times through the night saying, Mark, I don't understand where to start because it changes every 6 weeks. There's a new thing coming, and he's stuck in analysis paralysis. He's stuck in the ability to not know where to begin. And it's simple. It's not the tech, it's the concept. It's thinking with AI and grabbing the tool that makes sense today for the problem that you have in front of you. And that resonated at their table. And I ended up at the Christmas party being called over to a table to sit and have this discussion with people, because that's the biggest fear a lot of people are having. And then the final one is a vice president of the company came to me and said that she is afraid of losing control of her team and making sure that the information is correct. And she's afraid that the younger people on her team are going to get lazy, are not going to be able to, so I'm looking for the critical thinking conversation. And the flip of that is, let's harness the knowledge within the team so that the juniors have these tools and this wisdom to be able to leverage so that they can grow and learn. And there's more opportunity for human interaction, mentorship, and there's more time for critical thinking. And I'm excited to say that 2 weeks on, she's now using ChatGPT, Copilot, and Notebook and Perplexity on a 4 to 5 times a day exercise. So we collectively on this call and in this community have an opportunity to transform the work environment, but more importantly, transform individuals to be able to leverage this and help them move through to the next level. And so if you're afraid to go out and talk. If you don't know what to talk about, listen to everyone else here, leverage on their success stories and what's going on. And I guarantee you, if you've attended more than 3 or 4 of these things and done on one challenge, you know more than 90% of the people out there, and they just want to hear from you. So that's my thoughts for today.
That's amazing, Mark. We appreciate everything that you do and bring back to the community, and that's why these calls, and this is not happening just on my call on Friday, but it's happening on other calls during the course of the week. People are bringing back live results of, going out there, having meetings, having conversations. Here's the reality of what's happening out there. Here are the conversations that I'm having. Here are the results that I'm having. Mark, I loved your hitting on credibility and confidence. Those are so important that and to have the value of this program validated by activities that you and Terry and so many others in the program are out there doing on a day-by-day basis, is just it's heartwarming and I love it. So thank you for sharing. Thank you for participating and everything that you do. But this is the reality, folks. Mark wasn't paid to say what he just paid, what he just said on
No,
this call. And the other big piece of it is this community is here to help each other. So as Mark said, he's gonna have more work to do than he can handle. Is he gonna like start looking in, you know, online for people to help him? No, he's going to come to the community here because he knows the level that the people are at. He knows the education baseline and understanding that we all have. He can pick up a conversation with somebody in this community and instantly start resolving issues and problems for a customer or a client. So the pool of resources that we have here collectively, the hive mind that we're building is going to continue to grow and spread and provide opportunities for everybody. And I, as Wayne says on his call, he drives by more business than he can handle every day when he goes out there. Mark's experiencing this. So we're going to become a feeder network to each other for opportunities. And uh, that's going to be great, and that's happening right here in real time. And I'm actually amazed to see how fast it's happening, but it's actually really great. Steve, you've been patient, my friend. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Yeah, the community is amazing. It's really helped me a lot. And I just want to say to Mark, man, I feel you. I've been given workshops, and out of every workshop, I get at least one person that wants to talk about how do I AI apply them. I was on a call at 7 a.m. yesterday morning with a fellow scaling up coach and their client in Dubai at 7 a.m., which is 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock their time, I guess. And they really are like blown away. I did a couple few things in Gamma. I took their IP address or their website address, and I went out and I researched it and I got a bunch of information on them through chat. I threw that into Gamma and created a slide that like blew their minds away. They deliver up to 1,600 meals a day. Really cool in Dubai. So I definitely echo your sentiments on it. It's really helped me a lot by getting out and just talking about AI, letting people know you're not going to break it, play with it. It's okay. 10% your thought, 80% let AI do the work, and 10% humanize it. Make sure that you check up on the
love
work,
that.
keep the human in the loop. So it's really been a great experience. I actually have 5 deals right now that I'm working on. I'm going to need help soon. It's probably all just going to go boom. One guy's from like the Mayo Performing Arts Center, which is a performing arts center here in New Jersey. So that's going to be really good. He wants to train on like one department to start, and then we're going to expand that out to the rest of the departments. I think there's over 100 people in that organization. But yeah, just get out and talk to people, educate them. I've got a workshop coming up on January 9th, Automate to Elevate using AI in the workplace. And it's basically just demonstrating how some of the use cases could work for them. And that really lights their fire. So thank you very much. I agree. It's been awesome. And it's about to get even better. 2025 is going to be freaking amazing. I'm telling you guys, hold on to your bippy, as they say.
It is. And I'm gonna, Steve, thanks, man, for piling on there. I'm also gonna circle back to something that Mark mentioned. He's up in Canada, so they may be labeled different things, but there is a lot of grant money. In the United States, they're typically called EDCs, Economic Development Corporations. So local chamber of commerces have partnered up. That's kind of at the local level. And then you get regional, you get a bunch of chambers that, link up together. That becomes a regional thing, and that becomes an economic development group. So
Oh,
look
cool.
for look for economic development councils or EDCs. They're looking to train people. They're looking to get this knowledge out into the space. There might be some grant opportunities that are out there as well. So check that out. And
That's a community right there at its finest. Everybody's
yeah.
helping everybody. That's the best part.
Yeah, absolutely. So local chambers of commerce, we've talked about the opportunity with SCORE, score.org. That came up on the fellows call. That was earlier this morning. We have a weekly call. We all get together and talk about what's going on. And then so Score came up on that call again today, and just the huge opportunity of hook up with your local Score chapter, do what you need to do to become a mentor, and stuff's going to happen and be flying your way. Good morning, Terry. What's happening?
Good morning. And I just really quickly, I just want to reiterate kind of what Mark and Steve are saying that one, I've never been part of a community where it is not just about, you know, us and what we do individually. We are all out there, the opportunities we are uncovering, so many of them, the vast majority, are going to be able to loop in other people in the community. Just like yeah, and I had brought up some of the score things this morning and some SBDC things and as I look at stuff, I'm looking for things that can replicate in every marketplace that's out there. So whether I can bring in people to help me with some of the projects or be able to show people, look, you can replicate this in your own marketplace with or with SBDC or a chamber or what have you. So that's what I wanted to say is for anyone who's new to the community and still kind of wondering because you've been burned and spurned by other communities, this is so vastly different. And I just really appreciate everyone here truly bringing in for the greater good of all of us and not just, for our own individual purposes.
Sweet. Thank you, Terry, so much. You're When you said the word replicate, I wrote the word productize next to it as well. Don't turn everything that you do into a science project that has to start from ground zero. Sort of productize and package, what your presentation is, what the service is that you offer. Yes, it's going to need to get tweaked and adjusted for, individual client needs, but try to productize and be able to replicate as quickly and easily as possible. Don't start at zero each time, whether it's going out and having a meeting, whether it's doing a presentation, or whether it's, what your discovery process looks like with your client and the implementation development and the strategy. So it takes some reps to do that. You got to do it a couple of times and then you figure out, okay, this works and this doesn't, and leave some room for that, fine tuning that you're going to do on a case by case basis. But yeah, don't reinvent the wheel each time. That's just not an efficient way to do it at all. Christy, good morning.
Good morning. I just wanted, I had a win this week and something that I'm not sure many of us have done yet. I got a booth at a small business expo, and it was just a day-long event. It was from 10 to 4 with a networking session afterwards. They do these in many different cities around. I definitely would recommend if you're going to be targeting small businesses, which I'd recommend anyway. Wide variety of attendees, as you'd expect, but I would say my message, there were a few people talking about AI in the booths, and they had a workshop on AI that was done by a tech vendor. But nobody was talking about AI strategy or, several people walked up and asked me about if I was an AI platform, but certainly no one was talking about AI the way I was. What walked around, there was not anybody else in a booth that was talking about AI. And I walked away with probably 85 leads. At least a quarter of those were, I would say, hot leads that I need to get involved with. in addition to those, um, I say many, so for context, probably about 5 of those are in addition to the 20 hot. 5 of those were talking to me about speaking opportunities, podcast, another event with 150, a regional event with 150 realtors that have no clue what they're doing, and other regional events he wants to talk to me about. Many were also potential relationships for bringing each other in from developers and implementers. I haven't even started my outreach. I already have 6 meetings from people who have scheduled with me. So I haven't even had to start doing anything, and people have scheduled with me. And frankly, they were people that I had a little blip, something as a lesson learned. I'm used to, maybe it's a difference in the applications that smaller groups can afford. I don't know, but I'm used to scanners that as soon as you scan, it saves immediately. These apparently didn't. So I'd put a note in, and the way that it worked, it would cover up the screen. So I would just click it. Apparently that wasn't saving it. So on the ones I was trying to actually put a note to say follow up with, until I realized that was happening. So I lost about 6 or 7. The people who have scheduled appointments with me are ones I didn't even have in my screen, but I remember them. So all good stuff, all good stuff. And I've had a few other things that have happened, and all similar to what Mark and Steve are talking about. I'm not as far as they are, but I have my first paying customer where I'm doing a session with them next week, and they're already talking about the next step, and all these other things that are piling on top of. It's all good. It's
Get the
all good.
flywheel going. Just get
Oh,
that flywheel spinning. It'll pick up speed. I told you that. I'm so happy for you.
And the response at the conference, I do recommend other people going, because even I said that of the 80, 85, only 20 were really hot. The rest of them is because I can't really remember the conversations. So it ranged from one-to-one coaching discussions to discussions of, I really want to do this. Everybody, I would say 90% of the people I talked to were the CEO and founders.
I have a form that Vidya started and I edited a little bit that you could send out that really is kind of ambiguous on what are they interested in.
Yep.
I think I shared it with you if I didn't.
And I've created a
Okay.
form similar. That's the
Good.
first thing I'm going to send everybody.
Yeah, because that way you can find out what they're truly interested in without kind of putting yourself under the bus.
Yep,
Cool,
absolutely.
cool,
I have
cool.
I have a question for you guys. And Steve, I know that you recently graduated from in getting your certification, but I'm curious what the timeline is usually from when you graduate until you see, the production of business beginning to happen. And I know it's also dependent upon how much you're getting out there, and doing things in the space. So I'm sure there's different.
There's more variables than that. It's are you working while you're doing this, or is this your full-time job? I mean, as part of it. For me, I'm working as a scaling up certified coach while I'm doing this and learning it. So for me to learn it, it took me about 3 months, an extra month to get my capstone actually done just because I was busy.
Mhm.
Um, Everyone's different. Everyone learns at different speeds. That's kind of the cool thing is you can go as, faster or slow as you're able to, with your circumstances. In terms of getting business and closing deals, honestly, I talk about AI 24/7. I think
Mhm.
about AI. I think in AI. I think I am partially AI because I've been in computers for 40 years. I don't know. I could be a robot in your avatar. You're not sure. But for me, it's just getting out there, doing the presentations. And look, after 40 years of speaking, I still get nervous before I get up on stage or before I do it. But like 30 seconds to 3 minutes in, I'm totally fine. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just Steve Furman doing what I do. And don't be scared. It's like I tell people, you can't break it. The same thing for you guys. even if you fall down a little bit or you don't have information, you know so much more than they do. Believe me. And they are dying to know. They're dying
Yeah.
to understand. And I've also found that I hope this will help people is doing live use demos, like showing people it actually working in action. Like I take Gamma and I just say, okay, great, give me a subject line, NFL coach. Super. How do I become an NFL coach? And put it in Gamma. And before I know it, I got 10 slides that are really geared towards the steps and the training and what you got to do to become an NFL coach. And I was like, boom, blew their minds.
Steve's only kidding about that being afraid thing. He's a Marine. Marines aren't
Hoorah.
afraid of anything.
I fear no nothing. That's right. But the point is, I guess to answer your question, Megan, you gotta just get your mindset. You know, it's all here in my book. Go get my book. Just get up and
Shameless
drive. It's
plug.
all about your mindset. It's all about like just not letting fear creep in. It's all about just doing the right things that you do and just keep repeating it and have faith and belief that it's gonna happen. And it does. So how long? There's a lot of variables, you know. I mean, for me, it's taken me to get actual paid work. I'd say I graduated. When did I graduate? August? Yeah, so it's like 3 months, you know. But then
Hmm.
again, I'm also doing another job at the same time. So
Yeah.
I'm slowly migrating more and more and more. Like I'm probably 80% AI and 20% scaling up coach.
Hmm.
But I got a niche too, and that's something else that'll help you guys. Find a
Yeah.
niche, something you're really uniquely good at and that you're really perfect is your perfect ICP, your ideal client profile, and go after that niche. The riches are in the niches. So I'm going after scaling up coaches and other coaches. And if I'm not teaching them, I've got two people that turn me on to their clients. One in Dubai, which is pretty big, and one is a PE company that's doing 800 to 900 million in private equity on real estate holdings. They need a lot of work.
Hmm.
So that's why I'll be talking to the community. But I got those from coaches. So why not? I hope that helps.
Yeah.
All good. All good. That's a
Just-
great question, Megan. Thanks.
yeah,
Oh, Christy has something she wanted to share
Yeah.
on that topic.
and I'll say this really quick, just as a counter. I got my certification earlier in the year. Um, I forget when, but let's say by June. But my plan was always to actually start my business by January.
Hmm.
I'm already in it. You know, I was building the business. I was finishing out a job that I had. I was doing in this transformation. I wanted to build my website. I wanted to get some other things done. I wanted to continue educating myself. I had other things going on. I was trying to write a book.
Hmm.
Then in October, some things changed, and I started, okay, well, there's no reason I shouldn't start marketing myself now. My website's kind of ready. So let me just kind of do that. And I'll start marketing myself a little bit and I'll start introducing people. I'm reaching out to people. And then by January, I'll be ready to go. I'm
Hmm.
already, I didn't intend to start getting business. I didn't intend to go to a conference or anything before January, but it's just happening so fast. And and I already have 2 clients.
Yeah.
And I think from what just happened at the conference, I'm going to have more. So I just went on I was kind of doing a slow path, but things were happening so fast. I was like, well, I should start reaching out now. So people know I'm doing this and I'm ready with the website. So, and
Yeah.
that's just kind of how it happened. But I think people can make this happen as fast as they want to, or they can do it slower. It to Steve's point, it depends on what else is going on. But I
Hmm.
think the world is ready for us, especially this year.
They
When
sound
it
hungry
starts,
for
it
us.
comes on. It comes on full force. When it starts, it's like
Yeah.
boom, now you're in it,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah,
great.
it does.
Yeah. Thank you guys for
I'm
sharing.
I'm just going to circle back to something that Christy mentioned. Perplexity or Google is your friend. Small Business Expo near me or Small Business Expos near me. Um, Figure out how far you're willing to drive. 2 hours, 3 hours, put a pin in your zip code, draw a circle around it, and identify small biz expos in those locales. There's also some art and science to working one of those expos. On the call earlier, we identified an opportunity where Christy might be sharing some of her tips. She comes out of the corporate world. I did trade shows for decades, so there's definitely right ways and wrong ways to do it. If you're standing at the edge of the booth and the aisle with your arms crossed like this, waiting for people to come in and talk to you, that's not going to work. So again, there's tips and tricks for how to do these shows. We're going to probably develop some content internally on how to help people do that and learn about that a little bit more. But yeah, Small Biz Expo near me. There are some national organizations that do them all across the country in different markets. But yeah, check it out. And we also had a great comment and this is how our community gets better, and this is how our program gets better about organizing someplace where, templates and we can share things with each other and make them easier to find instead of just, in a random post somewhere in circles. So your feedback is valuable. It's how the program gets better. We appreciate that. I saw some other people had their hands up. Raj.
Yes, thank you, Lee. Question for all the CIOs and those who are already having some clients they're working with. Just curious to know what kind of initial questions, or when you go to these meetings and all that, what kind of questions do they ask? Do they ask more technical, or do they ask more functional, or what kind of questions are we talking about here?
More functional. What do I use? How do I use it? How can I get a benefit out of it? Like Mark was saying, about, they're scared and they're worried for their jobs, or they're worried for what it's going to do to their company. So I think it's more operational, institutional questions than it is technical. I don't get a lot of, hey, how do I do this? You'll get one geek. There's always one nerd in the group that thinks they know it all, and they're gonna ask you that tech question, but that's fine. If I don't know the answer, I just say I don't know. I'll find out.
I would echo what Steve said from that perspective. The big thing is that a lot of us are coming at this from a technical perspective, and the people that we're talking to aren't there. They, we need to help them understand and say, why are you asking the question of, should I use, ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude or whatever? What are you trying to achieve? And let's look at it, because they most of them just think there's one tool in the toolbox, which is a hammer. But there's many. And where do you start? So help them create a workflow, help them to create what am I trying to achieve? Okay, do I use a hammer? Do I use a drill? Do I use a screwdriver? Do I use a paintbrush? Like, what am I trying to achieve with this? The other type of questions I'm getting is more in data security, data privacy, if I'm speaking with larger companies. So how do I deal with this with ChatGPT? So we look at evaluating Gemini and Copilot Enterprise, as well as Notebook LM, to make sure that we're dealing with stuff that's private. So it's that conversation as well. And and the thing is get them out of the weeds and meet them where they are, answer the questions that they have, but then really ask them why. What are you trying to achieve? What's the overall goal? What's the growth that you're trying to create? And like Steve said, it's a lot of this is more structural institutional type questions. They're not technical stuff. And then the other thing too is, for the people that do want to be technical, like Steve said, is do some examples. Terry does the examples. I did an example where I pre-prepped a government RFP, and I put in, I think, 17 or 18 PDF documents, approximately 1,000 pages of materials, prepped it, but didn't do any investigation. I just was like, hey guys, what questions do you have for this, like, wall of paper? And we started asking questions, and they're like, how did it do it? And then I went out to Perplexity, and I was like, okay, what are you guys working on? What's your business? Took a concept from Kim that she shared in one of the calls. And I was just like, let's go look for RFPs in Texas. And we found like 5 RFPs for them that they didn't even know about. And showing those kind of things, that's where the real power is. So don't be worried about the technical components. I have yet to bump into anybody that's speaking on a technical level.
Got it. Okay, no, understand that
And
because my background is actually in the enterprise AI, and I was with SAP actually for many years, and so that's what I've been working on. And so because I'm just trying to understand on the enterprise level, if anybody had any customers and they had any questions about what exactly the business processes they talked about, or how the processes work, how they can improve the processes with AI, and what kind of savings the matrix that they have. So those kind of questions I was wondering if you guys.
The two that I've
Raja,
spoken to now, sorry, John, the two that I've spoken to now, they don't even know what's possible. So they're not asking those questions. They don't even they don't think like us because they don't have that background and experience. So you've got to help them develop that. And that's where in our think framework, we start with that training. We've got to teach them what's possible, not the details, just what's possible through example. And then they can begin to start thinking with AI to understand, oh, that's possible. This is there. And then the biggest thing, quite frankly, is data privacy. That is the consistently the number one question I'm getting. It's data privacy.
Perfect. No, thank you.
Roger, I would go back to people. Everybody says, and I've had people saying, well, like I met with a guy this week and he was like, well, does AI apply to data? Do you look at the architectures and all this? And I always stop them there and I say, the question is why are you in business? What are you here to provide? What are you trying to achieve with that? And what are the obstacles that are in the way of that? Because if you don't know that, it's like, remember in the old days when we were all young and people just sat down in terminals and started writing code before you even knew what the customer really wanted? And then, no, wrong, guess again, right? People in general, don't have that view of things.
Gotcha.
And I think what's been said before, I won't repeat it, is absolutely right about, what's your company strategy? Who you're trying to target? Why are you having problems? And what are you here to provide? Right? Because you can't answer those questions.
Yep.
Oh, I want to have AI. I want to have enterprise AI. What does that mean to you? Right?
Exactly.
Does it mean analyzing data? Does it mean what data are you trying to analyze? Do you not know where your sales is? Do you not know where your sales is weak? Do you not know what customers want what? Do you need governance? What problem are you trying to solve is where I like to start. You can't eat the elephant in one sitting, right? And granted, I'm looking at a high level because I believe you don't start there, and a lot of people will argue with me, I'm sure. But and then you could also Steve was very good at pointing out that you can show them very simple little things and how it can help you. And then you sit down and have the conversation of let's build a strategy and put some governance around it so you're not trying to eat the elephant in one sitting.
Yep.
All
So
true.
And I would
Jonathan,
echo. Oh, sorry. Go
oh,
ahead,
sorry,
Kim.
Mark. Okay, so Jonathan, to your point, so it's really around showing them what it can do. So the little things, which Jonathan, you talked about, but then taking it back. I mean, it was in the CAIO training. You start with vision, strategy, tactics, and you go back. And as you get into the tactics, that's going to reveal the pain points that they're dealing with. So, for example, the construction organization I was working with that Mark referred to, we created, and believe it or not, I actually was able to do it, how to scrape from municipality minutes from key municipalities so that they didn't have to go out and look at every single set of minutes every time they were published. So they get a weekly report now that summarizes, are there any construction projects they might be interested in on? And then they had another process that we're working on right now is about how to streamline the bid process. And it might not even be AI, it just may be automation. So that's the other thing is you need to understand if we're talking about AI or automation, or maybe it's both. And so making sure that they understand the productivity needs because automation is
Yes,
automation,
and where to apply which, because there are
right?
different tools for different jobs.
Yeah.
Like
Absolutely. So
AI
I
is
think,
an artificial intelligence overarching term there's a lot of different segments that
Absolutely. And I
comprise
think
AI.
you'll see most of my clients are really now talking about it as augmented intelligence, or as Mark and I have discussed, thinking with AI,
Yeah.
so that people understand a human is creating the basis for the AI. A human is creating the prompting or whatever the use of the tool is, and a human is making the final decision.
10-80-10.
Yeah,
Yes, and robotic process automation and AI are, while interrelated and can do some of the same things, are very different tools and applications. And a piece of advice I would give Raj is that you may get to a point where, or run into somebody at the trade show, like Steve said, who is the technical wizard. If you get into the point where you need to automate a very complicated manual process, like taking in invoices and doing three-way match, if you're not an expert on UiPath, Blue Prism, or Automation Anywhere, or something of that ilk, I think it's a fair statement to say, I'm not the purveyor of these things, but I have partners who can, when it gets to that point, I can use AI to record your process, to document your process, to help you analyze your process. And then when it comes time to actually automate that process so that you can have people think and not work, then we bring in somebody that does this for a living, because nobody's an expert on everything.
I
Although
say I'm
some
the
people
wizard
claim to
behind
be,
the
and they're
curtain.
all wrong.
Just be the wizard behind the curtain and just say, look, I got a team. You know what? I don't know how it works. I don't have to. I surround myself with the smartest people in the room, and that makes me look smart. And that's all I need to know.
And
It's
Raj, if I could kind of jump in and say, one of the things is, and I think Jonathan kind of touched on it, even if you have worked enterprise for 20 years, now this is my suggestion. My suggestion, if what we are doing with AI is, again, kind of new to you in presenting it, I certainly would not start enterprise. Number one, they have every, Deloitte and all of that in the world kind of going after them. You want to me, you want to get some smaller wins where you are kind of honing in how you talk to people, how you talk to the leadership team, seeing kind of what their issues are, because many of those issues are still going to be replicated at an enterprise level, but it's a much quicker, of course, we all know it's a much quicker cycle as well. So even just kind of psychologically getting some of those wins, getting from point A to Z, starting at smaller than enterprise. The other thing I would say is, even before going in, I'm a huge proponent, and mind you, and I do it just right before I go in because I'm so like crazy busy. In terms of preparation, if you're wondering like what questions would they ask, simply have that conversation with ChatGPT. Hey, I'm going in, I'm meeting with an executive team or a CEO or HR director or whomever from this type of industry or this type of company. What are the top 20 questions that they may have about, whether it's AI implementation or even how to grasp AI. I start whittling down those questions because as I'm having a conversation with them, I'm bringing up to them, many, Susie, many other, CEOs in your industry, they this type of question. Is that something that you're feeling? Is that something that's coming up? So they can see you've at least had some preparation. And again, it takes seconds. Again, being able to use Chat GPT. The other thing I do is I also have, whether it's in Chat GPT, Perplexity, or a combination, I have it go out and kind of get a public sentiment of that particular company and tell me based on public sentiment, what is that company doing well? It's like a SWOT, but what is that company doing well? What are they just mediocre at? What are the critical issues that are going to put them out of business in the next 12 months? How can AI address those things? Based on what I come to the table with and how I utilize AI. And now I'm going in and I've got some specific talking points about them, kind of what public sentiment is out there, what their kind of red flags areas are. And I look like a complete rock star. And I mean, again, it took me, 2 minutes in Chat GPT to kind of pull those types of things together. But so that's what I would have to say. The thing is, I wouldn't honestly, until you have 10 conversations at lower than an enterprise level, I wouldn't start enterprise. That's my opinion.
I actually will do a live chat session. I call her Chloe with chat, and I'll have that question. I'll ask whatever they're looking to figure out or find out. That's how I demonstrate the use of using chat by just talking to it. Works every time. I look like a rock star because it comes up with exactly what they're looking for.
That's a really good idea. I don't know why I didn't think of it, but you're much smarter than me. So
You have too much hair, that's why.
So
Say?
Steve, is that Chloe you said?
I call her Chloe. It's chat. You can name her anything, him, her, it, whatever. But I just said, I'd like to give you a name. And it came back and said, great, what name would you like to use? And I'm like, how about Chloe? She's like, that's a wonderful name. So boom,
So
it's Chloe.
what's the website name?
I'm going to call her Rajev.
Oh, no, you just download Chat GPT for your phone.
There you go. Oh, okay, got you. Okay.
And then when you're in it,
Okay.
here,
You mean
she's here now. Hi, Chloe.
Got it. I thought it was a separate tool.
It's nice to meet you. Hope you're having a great day.
So there she is now. She's talking to me right now. Hey,
All
Chloe,
right, everybody.
we gotta go.
I'm gonna herd the cats here. This has been an amazing conversation. There has been so much gold that has been shared and dropped at the table here today. We're coming up at the top of the hour. I want to respect everybody's time. If you do need to leave, I totally understand. I am going to continue the call. I'm going to go through the rest of the agenda, which would be going over some news items of what happened in AI out in the world, and then a recap of the calls that we had here in our community. So if you need to leave, please catch the replay for the remainder of the call. If you're able to stay, that's great. We're going to keep going. I think we do have this call blocked for 90 minutes on the calendar now, but this has been an amazing conversation. And what happened here over the last 45 minutes is more important than anything I'm going to tell you about in terms of news of out in the AI world. It's more important than a summary of any of the calls, because that stuff is all available online. So this is gold. This is what happens. And this is why I just let it run, because this is the value that this community provides to everybody. So top of the hour, if you need to bail, have a great weekend. Appreciate you being here. We'll see you on the calls next week. If you're going to stay, I'm going to get back into my agenda. I will ask again, does anybody have any questions or concerns or anything that they've come up against in working with AI this week that we can help out with? Jonathan.
I can't figure out how to add the image of the badge to Gmail.
It's in settings.
No, I went to settings. It won't take it. It's just I can't get it to go in there no matter what I do. I know where it is. I know how to do them. It won't add it. It says it has to be a publicly available link.
Oh, no, mine did it.
Yeah. Jonathan, let's take that offline. I'll help you out with it.
Okay.
Happy to help. All right.
Thanks.
So I'm going to go back into a screen share mode here. Again, that was an amazing conversation, everybody. I got some huge things coming out of it myself. But I want to thank everybody for the participation of bringing, what you're doing and sharing it with us every week. It's really it's really the gold of this community. It totally is. All right. Brief announcement. So we do have, as a follow-on to the challenge that we had on Tuesday, we do have our Saturday session, which is I'm sorry. Okay, so we do have our Saturday session, and that is going to be going on this Saturday. This is a deeper dive where Chris gets into working with a lot of the tools that got discussed on the course of the challenge. You do need to be Um, Megan, check that link I just threw in there. It looks like it got truncated.
Okay.
Please. Um, you do need to be a member of the AI Insider community to join the challenge super session on Saturday. So if you're not a member, please join the AI Insider community. If you're listening on a stream, it's chiefaiofficer.com/learn-more. You can join for $1 and you get a 14-day trial. And of course, members of the community are welcome to join the call on Saturday with Chris. So just wanted to put that up there. And then let's get into some news of things that are going on. Mentioned this on the call briefly last week, but OpenAI is doing their 12 days of Christmas. I have no idea what that is. Okay. So they're doing their 12 days of Christmas. They're doing a drop of technology, or they're doing an announcement every weekday. I think they started on Monday, so we're on day 5 now. But you can go to this link, day 6. So advanced voice with Santa mode, ChatGPT and Alpha Intelligence. They've made some updates to Canvas. Sora got announced earlier this week, as you know, that's out there now. Sora is here. Day 2, they talked about reinforcement fine-tuning on their core models. And on day 1, they announced the release of O1 coming out of preview, and the release of the ChatGPT Pro account. That's the $200 a month super subscription, which gets you unlimited usage. There's a bunch of Sora credits. I think there's 5,000 or 50,000 Sora credits or something like that. But check out the announcement here for information on what OpenAI is dropping for the holidays, in the holiday spirit. Um, this one was cool. There was a conference in New York. The New York Times has an annual event called the Deal Book Summit. This happened last week. It's hosted by New York Times columnist Andrew Ross Sorkin. He brought together OpenAI Sam Altman from OpenAI, Sundar from Google, and Jeff Bezos. So this wasn't a panel discussion. This was a one-on-one conversation that Andrew had with each of these people. It was an interesting conversation. The conversation got a little defensive. The moderator asked Google a little bit about, you know, what's going on in their world. They was a little bit of tension between Google and Microsoft. They talked about how Bezos, has really returned to Amazon and is being very, very hands-on in terms of what he's working on with AI. So if you can go look for the Book Deal Summit, just check that out in YouTube, and you'll see the interview with Sam, the interview with Sundar, and the interview with Jeff Bezos. So there were some good nuggets, some good nuggets, nuggets, some good nuggets that came out of that. The next item I want to hit is reinforcing an item that I mentioned last week, which is that Amazon is big time in the AI arms race now. They've released a whole new family of frontier models called Nova. They're getting into the chip space. They're getting into data center. I mean, Amazon's already in the data center space with what they're doing with and have been doing with Amazon Web Services. But here's what's interesting, and I want to bring your attention to this. So I'm just going to read this little piece here. So buckle up for some serious AI acceleration. You have the biggest companies in the world who have tens of billions of dollars of R&D money every year to build these massive frontier models. As this acceleration plays out, we're paying close attention to how the frontier model companies themselves are hiring in order to gauge the impact of increasingly smarter models on the economy at large. Pay attention to who's hiring. Are these companies being Meta and Google and Facebook and Amazon, are these companies still hiring marketing and salespeople and HR people? The way we're going to know when we're starting to see the impact on the economy is when the hiring practices of the frontier model companies change because the tech they've built has enabled them to change the way they hire and promote and retain. So keep an eye on what those frontier model companies are doing in the hiring space to look at what's happening to gauge what kind of impact AI is having. And as those hiring numbers change in those organizations, that's when we'll, start to see some inflection points in a greater impact to the workforce and the economy. This was fun. This came out on the 4th, actually during the book deal summit when Sam was being interviewed. But here's just some interesting numbers. 300 million weekly active ChatGPT users, 1 billion, that's what it'd be. 1 billion messages are sent on ChatGPT every day, a billion, and you wonder why they need more compute. 1.3 million developers in the US, this is the US alone, are building on OpenAI's platform. So these were some numbers that Sam shared during the conversation with Sorkin at the forum, but those are just mind-blowing. And when you look at a billion messages every day, you really get to dial in and understand why they need the compute capabilities that they do. Final item here, this is kind of a fun one and kind of in the holiday spirit, but Coca-Cola has gone back. They went back to an ad campaign from 95, I think. Let me see it here. Yep. So they went back to the Christmas ads from 1995. It was their Holidays Are Coming campaign, and they regenerated all the ads in AI. So that was their Christmas gift this year. Interesting article, how people have commented on, things that AI did well, how people commented on things that AI didn't do well. Rumor has it there was another large consumer retailer, similar to Coke, that was planning to do this similar thing this year and generate all their ads in AI. And it didn't work out. So interesting article here. I'll just play this. Holidays are coming, holidays are coming, holidays are coming, holidays are coming. 'Tis the season, it's always Coca-Cola. So you can go in and you can go take a look at, there's a series of ads. People are commenting on how, the proportions and the scaling is wrong and how this looks wrong and that looks wrong. So it's not quite, as dialed in as they want us to believe. No scale or proportion issues here. Yeah, so people are commenting on it. People are uh, a little indignant that Coca-Cola went back and took a classic ad campaign and messed it up by regenerating it in AI, that these were wonderful ads and they were historical and they shouldn't have messed with them that way. So take a look at the link. But that's what is happening in the ad space. And there are other companies that are doing it as well. But this one generated a fair amount of controversy, and now we know why. All right, so let's take a look. I'm going to get out of external news and then let's get into a quick overview. We do have calls for anybody who is joining us on a stream right now. We do have calls every day of the week, 2 on Monday, The Monday tool call and the Friday call that you're on right now are open to the public, but we also have calls on Monday evening, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday on various topics. You do need to be a member of the AI Insider community to participate and be able to access those calls. But what I'm going to do now is just do a quick summary overview of what happened on these calls so that if you missed the call, you can go back and check it out. I'm also going to remind people that these calls are categorized. So we have the tool call, we have the live call that we're on right now. Wednesday is the business blueprint call. Tuesday is our prompting call. Thursday is our workflows call. And Monday evening is our governance call. If you wanted to make a mini course, if you wanted to take a crash course in prompting, you could just hit the prompting button here. And now here's all the prompting calls. So you could just do a binge on all the prompting calls. If you wanted to get up to speed on what we're talking about and what Christy's sharing with us in terms of governance, hit the governance button, and now here's all the governance calls, and you got yourself a little mini course on governance. So don't forget that you can do that real easily, as well as just go back and be able to look at the summary of the calls that happened on each day. So Wednesday on our tool call, this was led by our fellow Wayne Clayton. Wayne is deep into the Copilot space and learning absolutely everything he can to share and help us all learn as well. So he's a Microsoft partner. He's signed up for their program. He's all in on it, and he's bringing that knowledge back to us. So this was a great call. He shared a presentation that Microsoft did. I'm not going to play that, but if you want to go back and take a look at that, you can. He also took a new smart cut that we have out that is on Copilot and using Copilot to create an AI help you generate a buyer persona or an ICP, ideal customer or client profile. So that's what Wayne talked about. If you're interested in digging more into Copilot, we're going to touch on that a little bit more on the Wednesday call when I get to that. But that was the overview of Wayne's call on Monday. On Monday evening, again, we have our governance call. So this week's call was on accountability in AI development, incorporating transparency and explainability here. Christy hit on a really important topic. It's been on some previous calls, but it got uh, it, talked about a little bit more on this call. Insurance for AI consultants. Okay, so this is a critical one. If you're going to be going out there and working with businesses and talking to them about AI, as a business owner, as a consultant, you do need to have some liability protection. I'm not an attorney, I'm not an accountant, I'm not providing that kind of level of advice here, but just be aware of that you are exposing yourself to some liability issues if you're going out there and engaging with companies and working with AI and working with their data and things like that. There are general liability, there's professional liability, there is errors and omissions coverage, and there is also now cyber coverage, which is happening in the insurance market space. I haven't gone out there and looked for quotes on this, but Christy shared that quotes are ranging from $1,200 to $2,100 a year for comprehensive coverage. This was interesting. Some insurers are reluctant to cover consultants advising C-level executives. So I missed the call on Monday with Christy, but I do want to go back and listen to that part because I want to find out why some insurers are having that kind of reluctance and what the advised workaround might be for it. So that was a big takeaway on the Monday governance call. She also went into some governance frameworks as we've been talking about, and cybersecurity and AI and how that all ties together. So again, governance and security are important. It's why we developed this new call. It's not so new anymore, but we're getting into this topic heavy. It's an important one to pay attention to as you're out there working and engaging with clients. The Tuesday call was on prompting, using AI as a thought partner for business negotiations. This is actually another smart cut. So you're starting to see themes where we're weaving together what's happening on a podcast with what's happening in smart cuts with what's happening on the calls during the week. So there's a thread that's running through here. I hope you guys can see that. And the topic on Tuesday that Segovia led the call was on a bunch of things. He talked about Sora. He talked about some other items, pickaxe and things like that. He mentioned the one-day challenge model that we're doing, but then he got into strategic planning with AI and talking about the smart cut that we have, which was on negotiations, as a thought partner on negotiations. So that was an interesting call. I enjoyed that one. On Wednesday's call, we had again Wayne is diving deep into Copilot. We are a Microsoft partner. We, as in Chief AI Officer, we are a Microsoft partner now, so we're going to be providing training services, and there'll be more news coming out on that. But Wayne's in the dive on this, big time. Again, he shared multiple things on this call. He talked about, how Copilot is so entrenched in the corporate world, because everybody's got Word and Excel and everything else on the desktop. He talked about Google, Microsoft 365 environment for their apps versus the Google Workspace environment, and some compared and contrast there. He got into agents a little bit, started talking about retrieval agents, and I also wanted to just remind people that there's some great resources that Microsoft has provided for training and learning about their environment, and also on bringing their what they're calling AI enablement to the marketplace. So there's three links there, including a link for SMBs. Um, I'm going to bring this up a little bit. If you go download their Copilot Success Kit, it's got all kinds of great information in it. It's got a checklist. It's got a PowerPoint presentation. This is actually something that you can use when you're going out there and presenting. So let me just drag this over here. Come on. So here's a neat little PowerPoint presentation that Microsoft has put together on implementation guide for small and medium businesses. So you can use this when you're going out there and engaging with people. They have all kinds of assets. They've got templates that you can use talking to different departments, legal, leadership, IT, sales. So these are all email messaging templates that you can use. Uh, yes, while these things are focused on Microsoft Copilot, it would be easy to repurpose these for other platforms or make them platform agnostic so that you can have conversations with different levels of people. They've got images in here. They've got a manager implementation packed in here. So go take a look at that last link, which is the Microsoft Success Kit. You can actually take a look at that in the context of it being an AI for SMB success kit, not necessarily just for Microsoft. A lot of great information in there on how to approach, engage, and what kind of messaging you can use when you're having those conversations. It looks like the call from last night did not get posted yet, so this was our workflow and automation call with our host, fellow Chris Lannon. We picked up the conversation last week. We had the one of the founder developers of the platform Pickaxe join us on the call. And last night's conversation was a continuation of that. Mike Gioia was the gentleman who joined us last week. So last week we kind of got the company perspective of here's the tool and here's how it works. Last night, Chris went into a little bit of a deeper dive in terms of actually walking through how to build a workflow and publish that on what's called a studio, which is the public facing side of Pickaxe, where you can gatekeep through email or charge people for access to your intellectual property that you've developed inside of Pickaxe. So that was a really instructional hands-on call last night. And then I believe Mike is coming back and joining us live on the call this coming Thursday. So we've got a nice little cycle going where we had a guest come in from a tool platform, talk to us. We had one of our fellows go in, do a deeper dive on it, and then we have a guest from that company coming back to answer questions and help us figure out what we did right and what we did wrong. So we're coming up on the bottom of the hour. I appreciate everybody who stuck around and stayed with me for the duration of the call. I will open the floor again to anybody that has any questions or anything that I can address. Going once, twice. All right. So if you're catching this on the replay, appreciate you being here. And Jonathan, get you 1 second. Appreciate you being here. If you're jumping into the back end of the replay, sorry that you had to leave, but appreciate you coming back to catch up on these important items. Again, this was a great call today. I appreciate the participation of everybody. I appreciate all the knowledge and wisdom that everybody brought. Jonathan, how can I help you? You're on mute, sir.
Sorry. You can make Perplexity your default search engine in Google, in Chrome now. If you haven't done that and want to, you can. So I can show you how if you don't know.
Okay. Cool tip. Very cool. We're in the middle of the month. There's going to be more announcements. There is the stuff that OpenAI is putting out in their 12 days of announcements. Other platforms are dropping things. So I don't think there's going to be a lull in AI news activity between now and the end of the year. I think we might see some even more new exciting stuff coming out. So that's what's happening. Again, thank you everybody for being here and participating and contributing. I'm going to end the call and wish everybody a wonderful weekend. And we will see you on, or we're doing these calls next week, right, Megan? Yes. Yeah. Next week we're doing
Yes.
these calls.
Just
So
the week of the
regular,
23rd is
yeah,
when we're out.
regular call schedule next week, regular full call schedule next week. Reminder, we have the challenge on Tuesday. So if you're an affiliate, go out there and promote it. If you're listening to us on a live stream, join us, challenge.chiefaiofficer.com. We would love to see you there. Thank you all again. Have a great weekend and go out there and do AI.